objection. See if we can find my head opens, but on the side I go. Okay, one just to go there. Okay, so maybe we'll write down the information we need. Now, maybe what we'll do first is what values did you guys get for target?
This one actually got something that's sounded reasonable.
See if we can put in here this year. $70.70. What was their market value?
Like 75.
75. And you got 70. What did you get for your value?
$60.10.
No, that's a ways off. You guys see what you guys assumed differently.
And the market value was 77.
Okay, I mean you did. Yeah, so you're even further away from the market value than you are. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go out to Target and see what we need. We're going to probably go to investors. Now, usually where they're at. What's really fun is I start out telling students how to do it, and pretty soon you're yelling at me because I'm so slow. I like it. It's good. 78.39. Should we value it today? Okay, let's use. Oh, somebody want to write down, or both of you write it down. The market value says it's 78.39, and we'll see if Yahoo Finance agrees. What do you think it does? Wouldn't it be strange if they don't actually list the right price? Okay, then what do we want to do? Go to investor maybe and find
annual report.
There it is, annual reports. Ta-da. And then there's usually a few ways you can get an annual report, but seeing as they made it easy, view 2013 annual report or download. You want to view it or download it, I don't care. View is fine. It's probably pretty searchable. Given Target likes to sell stuff to it. Okay, and then what do we want to do? View all financials maybe? Sound good? Is that what you guys did? There's the highlights. You want to go, okay, there's the annual report. But it's taking a while to get in there, I think. Come on, open it up. Okay, let's give it a chance.
Yeah, I think it was it.
Trying to get to that. Okay, so they're giving us the real 10K, which is just fine with me. This is what was filed with the SEC. But if you go to your site, it's harder to navigate than if you go to their site even then, right? So I like using your sites. Different people have different preferences. Okay, so what do we want to do? Find something, maybe?
Maybe.
You can either just, did it download it or not? Okay. Oh, part 1, part 2, I see. I mean appendix, or table of contents. There's all kinds of different pieces of it. What's part 2 going to be? Selected financial data, executive summary, financial statements and supplementary data. Look at that. There we go. Okay. They're all set up a little different. How about a consolidated statement of operations, which is an income statement, and there's this financial position, which is a balance sheet, and there's cash flows. You like that? Operations. Who was that? EY? Yep. Good. RJ. Consolidated statement of operations. I think I'd run across each one of the lines and look at them. Are sales going to continue out into the future? I bet they do, right? And they've been growing. Okay, not as much this year as between 2011 and 2012, but still grew. Credit card revenues. All of a sudden, it's nothing. I would ask myself, why is it nothing? Is it going to stay nothing, or is that a blip that's going to come back? What's the deal? Okay, so I got to answer that question. Then I look at cost of goods sold. Looks like it's pretty constant. Okay, selling and administrative looks pretty constant. Oh, credit card expenses went away. How about that? Credit card revenues went away and credit card expenses went away. What do you bet their credit card business went away? Okay, and yeah. Depreciation amortization looks good. Gain on receivables transaction. Huh, what's that? There's one in 2012, one in 2013. How am I going to find out about the credit cards and the gain on the receivables transaction? Notes, every time. Because everything, especially bad news, is in the notes. Although this is pretty good news. They got a big gain on the sale, don't they? By the way, do you think that gain's going to continue into the future? I don't know, but I doubt it. It's probably a sale.
It looks like a loss, was it? Yeah, was it in parentheses?
Because it's a gain and all these other things are expenses. Isn't that awful? It's just annoying.
Yeah.
So the revenues here are credits, and then that's a credit, so they put brackets around that one, but they put brackets around it because it's down with the expenses.
Yeah.
So always add it up, right?
I would have gained it with the expenses and not the revenue.
Well, a gain on a receivables transaction is selling the receivables probably, right? They sold some receivables. Okay, I think maybe it has to do with the credit card transaction. What do you think? Might, because those are
Their
receivables.
red card was their credit card, and they still offer it to you every time you go in.
Yeah, but somebody else owns it now. They don't. Somebody else pays all the expenses on it and gets all the revenues from it, but they still have their name, and now it's probably a Visa card or a MasterCard
Okay.
that with their name on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's confusing.
And they probably get paid. They might get paid every year. We don't know. That's something you got to look at too. If you want to get really fancy with this, you find out, well, what are they going to get in the future off the credit card business? So maybe whichever bank bought it from them, right, or whoever bought it from them, is paying them every year for the use of their name. Could be. I don't know. Anyway, so we look at the rest of the stuff. Is there anything else that looks unusual? Interest expense is up, so we can look and make sure the debt's also up with it, so that would make some sense, right? But anyway, they made less money, didn't they, than the year before, in the last 2 years. So is that going to be normal, or is that a blip, or, what, we got to figure that out, okay? I think you took that gain out, although we take the gain out. They gave up the credit card revenues, and they gave up the credit card expense, and then we have a gain, and the gain's not quite as big as the profit they were making, right? So we'll have to see how that works out, okay? So it might be things aren't going so well for them on that. You don't usually have to do anything with the consolidated statements of operations. Oh, by the way, you could look for interest there too. It was there, wasn't it? Let's write it down. Interest 1126. And if we wanted to be a little more sophisticated, we could look at the note and find out what interest revenue was and only use the interest expense. That's probably a better way to go. Oh, they did put depreciation and amortization there. We can pick that up too, seeing as it's there. 2223. Okay. Then let's go down. I think that's everything we want from the income statement. Oh, tax. Come on, Keith. How much is the tax rate? What's 1132 divided by 3103? I like to print the balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statements, so I can write on it and compute these. Don't you suppose? See yourself. Might be nice.
36.5.
36.5? Wow. What was the year before? 1610 divided by 4609. Line there. Let's see, make that larger.
34.9.
Okay, and what's 1527 divided by 4456?
34.3.
Okay, so what's normal? I don't know, maybe 34%. What it is it's federal and state taxes added together, and local. There are any local income taxes. Why wouldn't they be low like Young? They don't have stores overseas yet. Selling in the U.S., they have to pay U.S. taxes.
I think when I looked at it, all they had was Canada.
Mm-hmm. They have to pay high taxes there too. Right? So, good. That's good though. Yeah. So you look at that, try to figure it out. Okay, good anyway. The statements of comprehensive income probably don't do anything with them. It's pension and currency translation. No cash flow effects. Okay, balance sheet. What do you want to pick up? Just the liabilities. Now, do they do total liabilities? Nope. So you'd have to add up the current 12777, 12777, and then add up the non-current with it 15545. So that's your ending liabilities, right? 6970 million. Is that what it is?
28,322.
What are you using thousands for them?
It's millions.
It's in millions.
Yeah.
So they have. So their total liabilities are. They're 12 and 15 is 37. I added 27, 28. Their 28 million, or 28 billion. 28 billion. Okay, and then do the year before. 14 plus 17, right? 14,031, so current, plus 17,574, non-current.
31,605.
Yeah, but while we're here, is there any interest on accounts payable? No. Is there any interest on accrued liabilities? No. So there's 11 billion with no interest, right? Is there any interest on this current portion of long-term debt? Sure. Is there any interest on long-term debt and other borrowings? Yes. Any interest on deferred income taxes? No. And I don't know on the other non-current liabilities, but probably no. So it looks like there's I don't know, 10 or something that we don't have taxes on out of that total, right? Or I'm sorry, interest on out of that total. All right, we might want to pick up the stock. How many shares there are? There it is. Common stock authorized 6 million shares. Issued and outstanding 632, you could say 632.9 million or something. You know. Okay. Issued and outstanding, there's no trade stock. Good? And then we'll make sure it's about that when we, or figure out why it's not when we go to Yahoo Finance or MS Finance. All right, statement of cash flows. Is that the same depreciation amortization? 22223? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Make sure it is. Okay, if there's something different, you need to go investigate why.
That's what I,
Right? And what else? I guess go down to the notes and figure out what's going on. Is that right? And you can either flip down to them or notes to the statements. I like this organization. It's nice, isn't it? What do we want? Taxes, maybe? Oh, by the way, you could also find information about the interest under notes payable and long-term debt, probably. Right here. Look at that. There's all their different interest rates on all their different debt, what the balance is, and when it's due. You like that? So there's the total debt again, right, for the long-term debt. And then there's the required principal payments on it, all their commercial paper, what the average interest rate is. It's almost nothing, you can see, right? Get the idea? So that's kind of cool. And then, whoops, get that too far. Good asset notes, maybe. You can see you can get around to these things pretty easy. And let's go to income taxes. Click on it. So just relax when you're doing these. There's not going to be intense time pressure if you know what you're doing. It's just not. Statutory rate's 35 for everybody, of course, right, for corporations. State income taxes, 3.1 this year, and it was less. So for some reason, they're paying more state income tax. International, almost nothing, no impact. Other, things. So certain discrete state income tax items reduced our effective tax rate 0.5 percentage points, 1 and 2 in the different years. Okay, fine. All right, so which rate should we use? 36, 35, 34? 35? Judgment. What do you think is going to happen in the future? I don't know. But it looks like they're not getting any real benefit from international, right? Yeah, they don't, not even substantial. All right. And this is just a provision where it came from. Okay? Almost nothing international, like we said. Not very much state, really, most of it has. Okay? And there's the deferred taxes and so on, if you wanted to analyze that. Okay, and then the other thing we wanted to do was a receivables transaction. Let's see if we can find that. Go all the way out again for some reason. I could probably find it a different way. So let's see, where would that be? Do they have a note about it?
Would it be the credit card receivables transaction?
Ah, that's a good spot. Let's try that. March 2013, we sold our entire U.S. Let's do this. Is there a view on here somewhere? Magnify it?
Bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Yeah, let's do this. Better? You guys read it now? All right. In March 2013. In March March 2013, we sold our entire U.S. consumer credit card portfolio to TD, whoever that is, and recognized a gain of $391 million. Do you think that gain's going to come every single year? No, don't include it in your cash flows, okay, for the future. Just like that. As accounted for as a sale, the receivables are no longer reported in our consolidated statements of financial position. Consideration received included cash, equal to the gross par, that's the receivables, and a $225 million beneficial interest asset, whatever that is. Concurrent with the sale of the portfolio, we repaid the non-recourse debt collateralized for credit card transactions, so they reduced some debt, reduced some asset. Okay? Resulting in net cash proceeds of $4.2 billion. They got a lot of cash for it. Not a big gain, but a lot of cash. They now underwrite, fund, and own Target credit cards and Target Visa receivables in the U.S. So they control risk management policies, all that. We earn a substantial portion of profits generated by the credit card and Target Visa portfolios. Income from the profit sharing arrangement, our related account services expenses are classified with SG&A expenses in the U.S. segment. So they put it into the SG&A expenses. I wonder if they do it as interest expense or something. And we could go to the interest note and find out, couldn't we? Okay, so you can get as fancy as you want with this. Okay, so then they talk about everything. The profit sharing income is offset by a $98 billion reduction in interest asset, $653 million in target share profit sharing. So it's in there, and that I think is going to continue, don't you? Okay, so we could read through this prior to the sale, what they did. Okay, all right, everybody good? All two of you? All right, so now what? Maybe go back and see if we can find interest. Yeah, see if we can find some information on interest in terms of what the net interest expense is. Or we know the net interest, what the interest expense is. Where would you probably look for that? Should have been when I was there earlier, probably. Is that under long-term debt, maybe? No. Just curious where they put it.
Long-term debt.
Yeah, I guess.
Did they say it was
Accrued
SG&A?
and other current liabilities.
Did they say it was SG&A because could it be at the cost of sales?
Oh, here we go. Maybe it's in there. You know, this is summarizing what's in there. This is more like significant accounting policies disclosure.
You do the accrued current liabilities.
It is in there, though. Here it is, U.S. credit card servicing expenses and profit sharing netted out. Yeah, it's there. They give us the numbers. So, yeah, but that's a good idea. So, what do you think? Long-term debt, maybe?
No, there's that current payables. Hold up.
Oh, we could look at that.
Accrued and other current liabilities.
Okay. There's interest payable. Got that, but that doesn't give me interest expense, does it? Gift card liability. People bought gift cards, right? People, we have to honor it. You got it. Okay. So, that didn't help. Great idea. No. Let's go back again and try our debt footnote and see if that'll do it for us. If they talk about interest there somewhere. The other thing we can do is find, I guess, and do interest, but that's really annoying. See if we can find interest expense. Here's a weighted average interest rate. Nah, didn't give it to us. And I don't think I'd expect you to do all this stuff, right? By that. If you were, you did control find and that didn't come up. Good. Control F. Where is it? Oh, fine, it's right there. expense maybe? Let's see if we get what we get.
Is it only going to search the form and not like part 1 or part 2 or any of those?
Not even gonna do it here maybe. What I could do, I guess, is go to the notes, huh? It's part 2, wasn't it? Go to the notes. From the notes, let's try to. There we go. It's there. Capital B's. Rent income. There it is. No, that's rent income. That didn't help. That's rent. We were hoping. There's net interest expense. That's just net, though. No, we're back to the beginning. They don't ever tell us. So I don't know if they have any interest revenue or not. I guess there's capitalized interest probably. Be all kinds of stuff. No, there's no interest revenue. Heck of it. Okay. So do we have everything we need out of the financial statements? I think so, don't we? So now what do we need?
We need the net income before tax.
Oh, yeah. We didn't get that.
I thought we had that 1132.
Maybe we did. I don't know if we wrote it down or not. Did you already have it before? That'd be a real good idea. Oh, we're going to calculate it ourselves. Never mind. We don't want the credit card revenues anymore. So they're empty. We don't want credit card expenses anymore. They're empty. So I guess we're going to use what they have now.
Did we still want
Earnings
the gain
before
on
taxes is
receivables?
3103. What's
Did we
that?
still want the gain on receivables?
Oh, we don't want that in there either. So it's 3103 less 391. This isn't very good, is it?
2,712.
Okay. And then we definitely don't want to use that tax amount, do we? We want to use the number we came up with. We said it was down 35% maybe. So they had an awful year, didn't they? Target did have a bad year. People
Do you think
tightened their belts.
it could have been repercussions from the data breach last year?
And then a lot of people didn't want to use their credit cards anymore. So,
No, I got caught in that on the last day.
did you? Did you have to get rid of your credit card? Yeah.
It was actually my bank card. That was
I had a debit card scare the other day. Saw all these charges, my account was looking low. I started like going through. I was like, this looks like all stuff my parents would shop at.
Did you call them up?
Yeah, my dad, his card got stuck or something, and he had to get a new one. And they apparently linked his new one to my account. So every charge he was making was coming out of my account.
You know, it should be the other way around. The kids, you know, spend all the parents' money.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's just fair. I like it. Did your dad laugh a lot?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm going to go spend all of it now.
Trying to get it back, kid, right? What'd you do with all that money? I love it. That's really good. Okay. Anyway, so now are we done finally? Do you have everything we need?
I believe so.
Okay. So what do we do next?
Yahoo.
Yeah, maybe the Yahoo. Okay. Let's leave that one open and get another one. If it'll let me. Will it let me? No.
Probably just have to add a new tab.
Yeah, is that me then? Okay. Why did I do this that way? Forgot if we were going to be in development again. Good life is a good development. you want? I don't care which one you use. They both work fine. Okay, so what do you want to find here?
Double check the stocks.
Okay, so let's put in target. Target. Okay. So we're going to use 78.56. Is that what it was before?
It was 78.39.
Oh, wow. They got richer. Okay, so whatever number you want to use. We can use the other one, it's fine. Okay, then what do you need? Typically what I do is I go straight to the key statistics because it'll give me all of them. Okay, so 78.58 now. Okay, there's market cap, which is, so it's 50.31 billion. That's the outstanding shares times the market price per share, right? We could pick up the outstanding shares over here. 640.21, is that what we had earlier? Real close?
We had 632.9.
Okay, so they've issued some more stock. So we'll use 640.21 because it's more recent. Okay. Their beta is 0.83. What does that mean? They vary even less than the market as a whole. Okay? 0.83. So their cost of capital is less than the cost of the market as a whole. Okay? Return on the market. All right. And then what else do we need out of here?
The 30-year bond.
Okay, so we need to probably go to market beta bond. And it's 2.80.
Did that change since earlier?
Might have. Yeah. Buying and selling them all the time.
Might have been 2.81.
Yeah. You know, it would start to change real fast. It will change. Okay. You see it's been going up slowly. Last month. Look what it is in these though. 3 months. Crazy. All right. Interest-free borrowing. Okay. Anyway, so we need anything else? Don't think so. But what we could do maybe is start calculating. What do you guys do? I want to have estimated cash flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Divided by WACC. It's going to be. You guys are thinking this, right?
Estimated future assets.
That's my estimate of the market value of assets, right? Okay. Minus.
Estimated market value of liabilities.
How long have you known that assets less liabilities is equity?
Day one.
I mean, really? Yeah.
Day 10101.
All right. That's in total. I'd like to know per share, so I divide it by what?
Number of
Outstanding shares. That'll give me my own independent estimate of the market value per share, right? Does all that just make sense? Some investment in assets times the cost of capital gives me the estimated cash flows I'm going to get forever, right? So the estimated cash flows I'm going to get forever divided by the weighted average cost of capital has to be the market value of the assets, right? So intuitively, it makes sense. All right, so let's calculate it. What's the estimated cash flows? Now this one's really hairy because I don't know what to do with target. Because their cash flows are so much less than the last 2 years. What do you think is going to happen? Well, what you could do is you could use the current one and then say, well, yeah, but I think there's going to be growth. Now you're going to recover, right? So you can use the last years and then do it that way. Or you could just estimate what you think the next year is going to be, right? And then put in growth in addition to that. It'd be less growth, of course. But. Okay, so what's the net income before taxes? That's the first thing, right? What do we think it's going to be?
2,712.
Take the number they had, right, and subtract the gain. All right? That's it, isn't it? And what was the number?
2,712.
You agree with this number?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then we're going to take it times 1 minus the tax rate, right? What's that number? We said 35%? Is that what you guys use? Don't remember.
I use 36.
I use the 36.5.
Okay. I don't know why it would be more than 35 going forward. It just seems strange. But one was
And if I
34,
think
one was
getting a
35,
foot
wasn't
in
36. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they had some deferred items come in and burn them. Is what it looked like. And you could really analyze, if you're doing it in real life, you could really analyze what happened, right? Why is their tax rate changed? Didn't change much, but why did it change? So anyway, I think I'd use 35. And then do what with that?
We also have to add in the depreciation.
Yeah, plus depreciation and amortization. How much is that?
2223.
You know, they got a lot, don't they? That's because they have lots of new stores. Which is another reason why their profit is, you know, maybe they have a lot. They have a lot more depreciation this year than they did in prior years.
I just remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Maybe that's part of it. Okay, anyway, do you understand why you add back the depreciation?
Yeah, because it's not a cash expense.
Not a cash expense, and you took it out to get your net income before tax, right? So, and even though I didn't use any taxes, but it saved me 35 cents on the dollar here, right? Because I get to write off that 2.2 million on my tax return, or billion on my tax return, and I saved 35% of that in real cash flows. So then you have to add back. Okay. Anyway, so what all that come out to? Go ahead and calculate. That's my estimated cash flow. Back to you. 3986.
Yeah, it was like 395.8. You just run that up.
That's good. You use your own judgment on that. So. Okay. Now what do we need? Whack. Okay. So what do we do for whack? Weighted average cost of capital equals?
Not the equity yet.
Yep. The cost of debt times the percent of debt.
Okay, weighted of debt times the cost of the debt.
I'm just saying, we haven't done the equity yet, like the weight or the.
No, we haven't done the weights yet. Yeah, we took out it, okay? So I'm just writing down the formula first, but you can do it any way you want, any order you want.
Times the cost.
Yeah. So if we had those four things, we could calculate whack. And you're right, you have to do the weights. So let's do our weights first. And it's just a balance sheet, right? Okay, what are you going to use? We don't know the market value of the assets, right? I want market values, by the way, right? Make sure you get the market value.
What we say we're using for the stock price?
78.39.
78.
78.39 is the number we picked up earlier per share. Times? How many shares was it?
640.21.
640.21 million. Times 78.39. What's this company worth?
I got 50,186.
50,186,000,000.
Yeah.
Good enough. What do you want to do with liabilities? Take the ending at book value as a proxy. Remember, the book value is a proxy for market value. Okay, so this is my estimated market value here. This is shares. Shares outstanding. Okay. What was that?
28,322.
Add 28,322 to 50. What do you get? 78.
78,508.
508. I think that's 100% of itself. 28,322 divided by 78,508. What do you get?
36%.
What, and 36 point what?
It was 36.07.
Okay, good. That's close. Okay. Okay, and then 5186 must be 64%. make sure that way you make sure your math is right. I got to add up to 100. Okay? So I calculate both of them. Weight of the debt is 36%. The weight of the equity is 64%.
36.1 and 63.9.
That's just fine. It's better, closer. Okay? All right, then we need KD and KE, don't we? So what are we going to do for KD? Cost of the debt equals what? Interest rate times, that's the before tax interest rate, times 1 minus tax rate, because the government's going to pay for part of our interest for us, of course. Okay? So what'd you get for your interest rate? You took the interest expense, probably? How much is that?
1126.
And you divided it by the average debt. So your average debt is going to be, that's 28,322 ending debt, plus the beginning. What was the beginning?
31605.
31,605.
29,963.
And then divide by 2. So the debt actually went down a little bit. 29 what?
963 and a half.
Okay, 964, whatever. Okay? Divide that into 1126, and what do you get?
3.8%.
All right.
3.75.
Okay, good. And then we're going to take it times 1 minus the tax rate. We said the tax rate was 35%, whatever you think it is in the future. So 0.65 times 3.8%, what do you get?
2.47.
So 2.5%, 2.47%. Okay? So I'm going to use that. Okay, and then I'd like to get the KE. What's KE going to be?
Risk-free plus
Okay.
data.
We're going to use for KE here. We're going to use CAPM. We're going to use capital asset pricing model to do that, which is going to be risk-free plus everybody has to pay the risk-free. Does that make sense? Okay? Without taking risk. Beta is the variability of your stock, covariance of your stock with all the other stocks, right? Out with the market as a whole. Okay? Are really supposed to be all investments that are in the world. I mean, everyone. Okay, so anyway, so beta. And we calculate it based on S&P 500 or something. Okay? So beta times what? Return on the market, which is what you expect the market to get forever on average. Okay? Less the risk-free again. So that is called the what? Risk premium. It's the premium that you're going to get for taking risk. That's it. Okay? So what's risk-free?
2.8.
Yeah, we looked it up. It was 2.8% for the 30-year Treasury bond. What is it going to be over here? Still 2.8. Please use the same one both places. Huh? Okay? So we're only going to get the beta times the risk premium as a differential in our interest rate, right? Everybody has the risk-free over here. Whoops. Everybody has the risk-free over here. Okay, so anyway, what's that going to be? What's the return on the market? I don't know. What do you think it is?
So 10% is what it was.
I don't care, yeah. 10%, 11%, 12%, 13%, whatever you think it's going to earn forever. Okay, 9%. What's really funny is when the market was just going crazy, I had executive MBA students telling me the return on the market's going to be 15% forever. I don't know, maybe now they tell us it's going to be 20% forever. That's what it's been for the last 6 years. That's crazy. So it's not going to be 15 probably forever either. What's it probably going to be? Well, now, it's probably going to be 5, 6, 7% more than risk-free.
7, 8%.
Yeah, so what happens if risk-free goes up to 5%? The market has to earn more. It'll be 12 or 13. What if risk-free is only 3%? Maybe 10. What if risk-free goes to 10%? Maybe 17, right? During that period of time. So it's really the risk premium that we're earning. Risk-free is, what is risk-free composed of? Interest rates in general, I told you, were composed of what, you guys?
Like risk.
True return, which, right, the true return or nominal return, right? Okay, is what? That's a component of the risk-free. What else is in risk-free? What this everybody thinks, researchers think, is 2 to 3% all the time, right?
It's like your uncertainty.
Well, no, that's the risk. Uncertainty is risk. Oh,
High.
guess what? Risk-free plus risk is how much you earn. Okay, that makes sense, right? Which is going to be the return on the market, by the way, for the market, right? Or the return on your individual stock for your stock, right? That's going to be risk-free plus risk. And the risk is determined by what? Beta times the risk premium, right? That's the risk premium you're going to get. So this risk is a risk premium. It's risk-free plus a risk premium. Staying with me? So that's risk, all right. But what else is in the risk-free? And this is whatever it is, right? What else is in risk-free, you guys? Expected inflation. What do you think expected inflation is right now?
Like 2 to 3%.
Maybe only 1. Why do I think that? Because 2 plus 1 would be 3, and it's only 2.8 right now. People aren't expecting any inflation. They'll do the rates. So maybe. This is all theoretical stuff, right? So the market does whatever it does. But interest rates are really low, right? Really low. Okay, good. So what are we going to do? If you want to use, what's our risk premium here? 7.2%? 10 less 2.8? That sounds reasonable. That's all right. Times what? Beta of
20.
Yeah. That's because it's less risky than the market. So the risk premium is going to be 0.83 times 7.2 for this company. That makes sense? What's their risk premium?
5.9.
Okay, so 5.98 or 6% plus 2.8. You got the idea? So 6 plus 2.8 is what? 8.8? Is that all they got? Yeah, 8. So their KE or CAPM is 8.8%. You totally understand. Why can they earn less than 10%? Because they're less risky than mine. Okay. All right. So that's 8.8 on the equity. Now here, let's think about this. If I earn whack, I'm going to keep the debt holders happy, and I'm going to keep the equity holders happy. The equity holders want 8.8%. The debt holders want 3.8%, but the government picks up part of that. So it only costs me 2.5. The government picks up a third of the 3.8, right? Okay? All right. So do 36% of it times 2.5, and then add to that 64% times 8.8. And what do you get for whack?
Yeah, 0.9 for the debt
Okay.
plus.
These numbers mean nothing, right?
Right.
They're just numbers.
Plus 5.63 for the equity. We come out to 6.53 or 6.5.
Yeah. Okay. Whack is 6.5, and now we got it made. What can we do?
Estimated cash flows divided by 6.5.
You say like 6.5%.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. Divided it. What do you get for your estimated market value of assets? This is just based on their cash flows. No growth, right? This would be no growth. What number did you get? 3986 divided by 0.065.
61,320.38.
I got 75,000 on
Let's do it again.
4,035.
3986.
639.
Where'd you get 4?
pulled up. Trying to compare it to it, but let's see, after,
65% at 2,700.
wait, I think I used the full interest rate. Three, right on there. Okay, yeah, I got you. I used the old interest rate.
Which one you have?
Left it to 36.5, like the original offer. We always switched rates to 35.
Oh, okay. Well, it wouldn't be that much different.
And I think I added to the pre-tax instead of the after-tax income.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. 6132 what?
3 and 7 cents.
307?
61,323 and then 7 cents.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's only 70 billion or something. All right, yeah. 61,323,000,000. It's only 7,000 actually. It wasn't. Okay. All right. What's our estimated market value of liabilities? And use the year end. Don't use the average, right? I mean, we're valuing this at year end. How much was that?
28,322.
And that's what we used for our weights, right? Exactly the same liabilities we used for our weights. Okay. What does that give me for estimated market value of the equity? 61,323 less 28,322.
$33,001.
How many shares were there? Same ones we used to get our total equity, right? How much is that?
640.21.
640.21, right? Divide that into 33,001. What do you get? Estimated market value per share.
51 and 55 cents.
Is that close to one of you guys? What was yours?
Mine was 70.
That's
It was
What was yours?
$60.
Yours is a little closer.
I also used the old stuff to see what I used for beta. Oh no, I had the right beta. I don't know what I did. Oh, I had a different stock amount there that they had on their income statement. Or their
Oh, a
balance
different
sheet.
quantity of shares?
Yeah, I had the
Yeah.
old quantity.
Okay, that would maybe do it too. Okay. So we like 51.55, but they think the value. Okay, let's do what's the implicit growth in it? Implicit growth. Let's do what they think, right? How much do they think the stock is worth? We'll walk through this just to make sure you see what we're doing. You don't have to do it this way. You could just pick up the market's estimate of market value and go if you want, right? Of the assets. Okay, estimate of market value of the assets. But what's the estimated market value per share? What does the market think it's worth?
78.39.
78.39.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's quite a bit more than the 51. I bet there's growth. The market thinks it's going to grow. Okay? They might not like our using that most recent cash flow, huh? Right? Okay, times 640.21. Guess what I'm going to get back to? Market cap, of course. What was the market cap? When you multiply those two together, when we did our weights, what was the market cap? 78.39 times 640.21 is how much?
51.
I got 51.86, but on Yahoo it was 50.31.
That's
But we're also
because
using a different
the stock
market
price
value.
changed,
Yeah.
right? That's because
Yeah.
the stock price changed. So 51.86.
Yeah.
Okay, and theirs was slightly different because prices just changed. Moving target. So you're only valuing what you think it's worth at a particular moment. 51.86. You see what's going on? Then we add back. I bet they'd agree with us on what the liabilities are. Although maybe not. Maybe they think they should be revalued. What's that going to give me, of course? It's going to give me what our original estimate, what the market's estimate of the assets was, isn't it? Which was how much?
78,508.
There it is, 78,508. Right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody watching at home? Okay. 78508.
Oh, wait.
Do you need to write any of this down, or could you just skip that and put this number down? Of course you just would. But you see where it came from, right? You know what it is, okay? So it's not just mechanical. So what we're saying is, look, 78,508 in assets. If the market agrees that the cash flow is 3986, which the market does not have to agree with that. They don't have to agree with us on anything. But if they did, and they believe, right, it's worth 78,508, which apparently they do think it's worth that, it's based on their market value, right? And they agree with these cash flows, then the WACC minus growth divided into those cash flows has got to be 78,508. It's got to be. If WACC is 6.5%, you could calculate growth now. That's all we're doing, you guys. What percentage divided into 3986 gives me 78,508? How would you get it? How about take 3986 and divide it by 78,508, of course, right? So what's WACC minus growth? Equals what? 3986 divided by 78,508. What's that? 5 even? 5.0, really?
5.07.
Yeah, so 5.1 maybe. Okay? About. Right? What's growth? WACC 6.5, but growth allows me to only earn 5.1. What's growth? It's 6.5 less 5.1. Growth equals what? 1.4%. Did you believe Target is going to grow at 1.4% forever? Now, it doesn't have to be forever. If they grow 5% next year, they can grow a lot less later, right? And 20 years from now, growth doesn't increase, right? At a very high discount rate. Well, it's still a real high discount rate. What is it? 6.5, right? So, you know, we're getting a feeling here, aren't we? All you really get out of this is questions. Okay, guys. By the way, you guys, it's just amazing how you guys are now compared to when I met you when you were freshmen. Wow, you guys are aware of that. What you've done, that's cool. 20 hours you put into it, develop that. Oh, wow, yeah, just keep doing it, keep doing it. You'll be, you know, I don't care. When I keep saying successful, I don't care how much money you make. I really, well, not really. It's your business. It doesn't matter. You're not going to give me anything. So, you know, I don't care how much money you make, but you're going to be able to do stuff. You're going to be able to make decisions. You're going to be able to help develop economy, make the world go, right? Fantastic. So, you're opening a lot of doors. I always talk about what you get for you, but what society gets out of you know what you're doing is really nice. It's really good. You can be job creators, whatever the hell that means. No. Yeah, you can be out there developing economic activity. Okay, I want you to do something. Calculate how much this stock is worth if you think it's 2% growth instead of 1.4. Do 2%. Should have left myself more room, but I didn't. In a way, I kind of missed the blackboard. I made a horrendous mess when it's got such blackboard for percent. It's 2% growth. That's not much more than 1.4, is it? It's amazing what that'll do, though. Happy. We just valued Target and you missed it.
Great.
You see the value somewhere around 51 bucks.
I think I got like 48 something.
Yeah, that sounds good. The value would have been a little different that day, right, of the stock.
Yeah.
It's a little more valuable now, I think. The market value is 78 today. What would your market value be?
I'll have to look at it.
So that sounds pretty close, though.
it's 7701.
7701, and now it's 7839. That would make some difference. And what would you use as your risk return on the market? Not well, either return on the market or risk premium.
The risk premium was 7.4.
Okay. So that would make a little difference because we used
That's the one that we discussed using in class.
7.4.
Because we used the 10, and then you told us to use the yield, the 30-year bond, which was 2.6.
Okay, and the yield for the bond's got a 2.8, so that made us 7.2 instead of 7.4. That'll make a little difference, right? Everything you change. That's why rounding it off doesn't matter.
Got $96.90.
$96.90. What'd you get?
On the divided by the-
Calculate 2% growth. Here's where we were. Here's where we were with no growth. Okay, this is everything we had. Here's the estimated cash flows. Here's the WACC. So obviously that's the market value of the assets. There's what we had for our estimated market value of our liabilities. There's our estimated market value of our equity divided by our shares. We got it. And then we went backwards and figured out what the implicit growth is, which is just what the market thinks the assets are worth, right? Which is the market value per share times the outstanding shares, gives back to market capitalization, right? Add the liabilities. So you didn't have to go through all of this, but could have just picked up this number. And then those same cash flows, estimated cash flows, divided by some number here, which is WACC minus growth, gives me the 78,508, right? With me?
Yeah. And then
With
you
these
take
one.
the
And the 6.5, well, that's 5.1, right? This number divided by that one is 5.1, right? And then I know that 6.5 minus growth is that. Well, growth has to be 1.4. See it?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what the market price would be at 2%. Go ahead and calculate. What would you change?
at 2%.
Instead of 1.4 growth, what would it be at 2%? It's going to be a little more.
But you still use the same top number, right?
Except you're going to have it grow, right? Take this
Right.
3986 times 1 plus the growth rate. Okay. So it's going to be this. Estimated cash flows. Your estimate for this year times 1 plus the growth rate, right? By the way, if growth is negative, that's okay. It's just minus, right? Plus a negative number. So you can have negative growth too in a mature company that's declining. Take that, take WACC, minus the same growth. Okay? There we go. And really we should do that in this calculation up here too. We really should do it here too, but it makes the math a little more cumbersome and it's close enough. So, okay?
Would you also subtract it from WACC if it's declining?
Yeah. Plus a negative number.
For the growth rate.
You have to earn more. If the cash flows are going to go down, you have to earn more to keep your shareholders happy. That's what we're saying.
Since the growth rate is 2%, is it 1 plus 0.02?
Yeah. Yeah. 1 plus 0.02 times the estimated cash flow so far, right? Divided by WACC minus the 2%. Will give me the new estimate of the market value of the assets, right?
For 2% though on the bottom, you still use the 0.02, right?
Yeah, 0.02 in both places. Absolutely.
I always get confused when you sometimes change it. Sometimes you use the 2 and sometimes you use 0.02.
Oh. It doesn't matter. That's probably good I'm not consistent because nobody ever is on this stuff. I probably don't mean, what's his estimated market value per share? I probably don't really mean that it's 0.02%.
I know.
I write
You
down
don't really
0.02
like say the percent, but
because otherwise that's a real small growth rate. That'd be 0.02%, right?
but wouldn't on the bottom, wouldn't it be easier to just put the 6.5 minus 2?
Sure. And it's the same thing. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care how you write it as long as you put in the calculator the right kind of numbers. Does that make any sense?
Okay, so you write it with a 4.5 on the bottom, but you would put it in as .045, right?
You got it. Absolutely. Now you're there. 6.5% is growth, whack, minus 2%, 2.0%. Yeah, or you can write down 0.065 minus 0.02, right? Be fine. Divide it into 3986, right? Times 1.02. I see what you mean. Yeah. I probably would write it the way I did have here, wouldn't I? Can you?
Yeah, I was a little confused.
Yeah, that is confusing. I apologize. But you can write them both as decimals or either way. Both as decimals or both as percentages. But when you divide it in, yes, it's going to be 0.045 divided into whatever 3986 times 1.02 is. What is 3986 times 1.02 anyway? What that's saying is that's the cash flow next year.
4065.72.
4066 maybe?
Yeah.
All right. Divide that by 4.5%, 0.045, and what do you get?
I don't know, 355. Let's see, 12.5. So I guess
Yeah.
56.
And then divide, or subtract 28,322 from it. The liabilities wouldn't change, right? Same liabilities. What does that give you?
62,340.
And then divide it by the same shares, 640.21. All right. What does it give me? What did you say it was?
9690.
Oh. So it goes all the way up from 79 to 97. Wow. With another 0.6% growth. But it's forever. It's a lot of cash. Okay? And everything is worth the discounted present value of its future cash flow. You guys agree with that? Yeah, another hour. We should do another company.
Yeah,
Actually,
let's do another one.
you guys should.
Well,
Tell me what it's worth.
let's do the full set.
Yeah, okay. I'd be happy. You good with this one? Everybody's very happy. Look at that, I got it all on one sheet. I never used another page. All right. Anyway, that's what people do to me when they do my quizzes and tests too. Okay, so what company do you want to do? Guess I'll kill these off. We're done. We're done with Young. We're done with Target. Hey, you want to use the Bond Center 2.8? You write that down again. Yeah, you're going to use that. And then who do you want to do?
Let's do Walmart as compared to Target.
You want it? Okay. Okay. You know what's wrong with Walmart, though? Is they don't have a high beta. How about a company with a high beta?
Okay. Who has the high beta?
Let's try Mattel. That's a NASDAQ company. You know, that might be all right. Their beta.
120.
Oh, it's not that high. Not that high one. I almost have to go for a smaller
What was
company.
that 30-year bond?
2.8.
There you go. There's a better one. Barnes and Noble. Let's make sure they're making some money. Make sure they're not losing money. It's really hard to buy these companies that are losing money. Be smart. Yeah, they made a little bit of money. Okay. They look more stable than they used to. Okay, we're good. We'll use them.
Should we get the market shares off of here?
I think I'd get them in both places to make sure they're close to the same, and I'd use the most recent ones, which will be here. That's probably, right? So different people do different things. So what's the market price?
Like 4%.
What else do you want from here?
The data.
Okay, what do we say it was? There we go, 2.17. You guys know how to find these things. What else do you need?
Outstanding shares.
I think it's down here, and then shares outstanding 60.2 million. I think you guys know who Barnes and Noble is, right?
Yeah.
They were in real trouble, but they've started doing that Nook. So
What is outstanding?
60.2 million. Okay, and then because people don't want to go to bookstores necessarily. Also, they turn their bookstores into coffee shops, couches. Yeah, kind of fun places, I guess, for people to hang out. I'm not social enough to do that. I don't even stay at Starbucks. I do get coffee. Anyway, so if you took the number of shares times the market price per share, what would you get? Market cap is 1.5 billion. You see it there? You guys knew that, all three of you, right? Okay, and everybody else at home now knows. Okay, what else we got? Anything else you need to hear? Have all the pieces of information you need? Thank you, Dave. Okay, right? So now what do we want to do?
Financial reports.
Yeah, so let's see if I whoops. How do I get this to do another search? Just up here. Barnes and Noble.
So you calculate the market cap yourself because that's kind of off. It's 60.2 times 2486 is 1496.
Yeah, I like that better. Yeah. Sometimes they'll give you more decimal places there, and sometimes when you calculate it, you'll be better. Yes. Calculate is probably more accurate. Don't you think? I like that better. Okay. All right, so should we go to their official site? Now what do you want to find? There's Notebook. Any of you use the Nook? I use Kindle because I had Kindle first. I like Kindle a lot. Kindle Fire is really good. Reading last night, partly why I'm so tired, couldn't go to sleep, so I read. I'm reading a book on Jim Crow. Oh man, it's depressing. Like the guy says, they should just call it the second slavery period. It's mostly about Alabama. Oh my. It's just awful. Depressing. Okay, anyway, what do you do? Go to investments. Good for reading. Here we go. Investor relations. There it is. Now what do you want? Oh, by the way, there's 24.92. What price did we get?
2486.
Yeah, it's moving. Okay, so let's use the 2486. It might be updated more recently than this one. Use the one from Yahoo. Okay, now what? We kind of like to find financials. You guys see them? More financial news, other detailed quotes, investors. Well, there we go. How about annual reports? All right. How about the 2013 Barnes & Noble annual report? And here it comes, and they're just dumping it on us. Okay, this is going to come straight out of Edgar, I bet you. Ta-da. Barnes & Noble annual report. Now what do you want to find? Oh, look at that. There's an index near the top. I like that a lot. I do that.
Can you click on it? Will it take you there?
No, I don't like that very well, but it gives us page number. Results of operations, consolidated statement. I guess it's consolidated statements of operations 229. I don't know what floor is. Page 29, page 30, page 33. You like it? Well, it claimed it. No, that's page 27. They don't match up.
No.
It's close though. Ta-da. Okay, what do you guys want up in here? Is there interest expense? Yeah, there you go.
Net.
Net and amortization of deferred financing fees.
So they combine all.
Yeah, so we can go look at note again if we want. But I'd write that number down. Boy, it's pretty stable the last 2 years, isn't it? Came way down from 2011. They were both restated too, so I don't know what's going on. So
Well,
we're
I
not going to
think
do.
that if it includes amortization.
Yeah, you might want to go to the note just
Yeah,
at the end of the
it's-
expense. Yeah, it's probably net of interest revenue, right? So it's interest expense less interest revenue maybe, and then plus amortization of deferred financing fees. That's probably what they mean. Okay, and then what do you want off of here? So everybody write down 35, 345 probably. What else do you want? Yeah. You can pick up depreciation amortization off of this one too.
The operating loss.
Oh, I got a loss. Oh. They do have a loss. I thought they had a profit. They'll do one with a loss, I guess. Okay? But you know what? You look at that loss, then you look at the depreciation. Are they going to have positive cash flow? Yeah, they have a little bit of positive cash flow. Okay. And this time they're going to have a tax benefit. So this is more difficult. I would not give you a company with loss. Okay? What we say was very. But anyway, yeah, they're still losing money. They lost money every year. I thought they were doing better. That's not better, is it? 2013 worse than 12, worse than 11. And they're getting a tax benefit. They're probably carrying it back to prior years when they made money. So you can read the tax note to point out.
So for revenue, to find the cash flows, do you want sales or do you want gross profit?
Well, no, I think the revenue, I keep all the revenue, but then the cost of goods sold is one of their expenses. So I think I keep all the revenue.
I think everything looks.
Yeah, then the cost, looks normal, and the gross profit looks unfortunately normal. Selling administrative, unfortunately normal. Depreciation amortization looks kind of normal. Interest looks normal, and their loss looks, for them, kind of normal. It's just kind of ugly if you don't want to go bankrupt, right? So yeah, they got loss. And what's the tax rate in every case? Go ahead and calculate it. 97.5 divided by 255.3. They're getting tax benefits, so that's reducing their loss. And that's how we use it, right? Have you guys turned the corner yet where you're doing this stuff so you know it instead of so you can do it on a quiz and a test? Or are you still doing it for a quiz and a test? Yeah, you're still doing it for a quiz and test. Pretty soon you're going to change that. And the test and quiz and final will take care of itself if you know what you're doing. And the CPA is going to kind of take care of itself if you know what you're doing. And your career will kind of take care of
Their
itself
tax
if you know what
was
you're doing.
significantly
It's
down.
better. Who cares when you grade it? Huh?
Their tax was significantly down.
Down its percent?
Yeah. It's been going down.
That means their benefit is dwindling. Yeah, when you're in a loss position, that's not the right thing.
It's almost 1.5.
What were the percentages?
There's 39.6, then 27.88, then 16.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do with that. Okay, we can look at the tax note. And it is one of the examples of why doing losing companies are. I hope we're not going to predict they're going to always lose money. But do they have positive cash flow? Yes, and why? Depreciation. Yeah, but it's not very positive, is it? In fact, what we could do is we could look at the cash flow statement. So this isn't bad. It's just hard to value. Let's see. Let's see what happens when we look at the balance sheet and income statement. Here's the balance sheet. What do you want off of here?
Liabilities.
Yeah, that's all. Oh, and the numbers there. Do they show total liabilities? Nope. Isn't this ridiculous? Look how they do it. They don't want you to know how many liabilities they have, I guess. Like you couldn't calculate it. It's 1.7 billion, right, on current, and then they just list everything else. So a fast way to do this would be to take your equity away from the assets, or your equity away from the total liabilities and equity, right? So take 3733, see it there? 373256, and subtract the equity, 713, 643. Look at that. They still have a positive retained earnings, but look at all the treasury stock they bought back. strange company. You know, a lot of traders, but they think the company was undervalued, I guess. This company's a mess. They're kind of in a dying industry in a way. Amazon killed them all.
This is
Books and Kindle.
thousands or millions or what?
That's a good question. Thousands. Thousands, so that's 1,715,000,000 and yeah. Equity is 713,000,000. Right? Add 3 zeros to it. Not a big company. Really. So again, I take 3, 7, 3, 2, 5, 3, 6, subtract the equity 713, 743. You guys with me? And then I do the same thing the prior year for the beginning. Right? Equity's going down every year. It's lovely. Is debt going up as equity goes down? Yes. Yeah, picked a real winner. No, I did it. Trying to get a high beta. What does the high beta mean? That their earnings are bouncing around, right?
What was it? Interest expense.
Interest expense?
For the previous year.
3.5, 3.45.
No, I was looking for the previous year. 3.5.
Yeah, 3.05. Oh, that's a nice idea. Compare your interest expense to 2 years as a percent. Not bad. I like that. So we got everything off the balance sheet we need? Yeah. Okay, let's go down. This is ugly, isn't it? Glad I don't own their stock. I'm owning my mutual funds. And there's the shareholders' equity statement. Watching our retained earnings disappear. And then cash flows. Okay, so we can see that we have some positive cash flows. Net cash flow provided by operations is 117 million positive, even though we lost 157. Okay? And then investing activities, they put some in purchase of property, plant, and equipment. And in financing, they borrowed money and was fine.
Is our depreciation different?
Is it? Good idea. Depreciation says, including amortization deferred financing fees,
Yeah, the other one was
232,604.
227.
Did the other one have deferred financing in it? It did not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what? That's a non-cash item, though. So I'd pick this one up. 232,604. The amortization of deferred financing fees is a non-cash thing. So, for the correct thing. 232,604. That helps a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, anything else? I'm happy to look up anything. I'm going to look at some notes.
Oh, we still need to get the shares.
Oh, that's back on the balance sheet. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right. How many shares are there? Actually, they're right there, too, on the equity statement. Oh. There we go. 300,000 shares authorized. 90. These are in. They're 1 cent par, so that's 300 million authorized, I think. So that's 93. No, that's 93,000, isn't it? At 0.001. Yeah, I'll tell you, this must be in thousands of shares. What's 93 million times 0.001?
93,000, right?
It's 93,000. 92784 times 0.001 par. Does that give me 93? It does. Move it over 3 decimal places. So those are in thousands. Those are actual shares, not thousands of shares. 92784 is the number of shares outstanding. 92,754. Got it? Oh, used
Wait, no,
92.8. What did it say it was on the,
60.2 million.
it said 60.2? You know what they've done is they bought back a whole bunch more treasury stock, even since then. Wow, maybe they're taking the company private. They're retiring a lot of their shares, aren't they? Look at the treasury stock here, it's 34,000.
Wait, so is this more recent from the Yahoo? Or
Oh, this is issued, I take it back. This is only issued, they don't show the outstanding. This is issued, 92,784, less 34,078 treasury stock. How many shares is that? That's about 58, is it?
yeah, 58.
Okay, and what did it say at Yahoo Finance?
60.2.
Yeah, 60.2 is a good number, right? They must have reissued some of the treasury stock or something. There we go. That explains that. So it gets you to think about it a little bit, doesn't it? Or a lot. Okay. All right. So can you value the company now? Might want to see the notes a little bit. What notes would you like to look at? There's similar and significant accounting policy. They have such a neat business too. Restatements. Okay. Their credit facility, stock-based compensation, fair values, we're looking for interest maybe, and we're looking for income taxes. There we go. Income taxes, note 10. So there's what they're doing. Their effective tax rate, they think 39, 28, 38. Sound good?
Yeah, I got all except the 2013.
Yeah, it's a different one.
So what you got for the tax rate?
The 38.2,
Yes, that's right.
you all rounded different numbers and didn't do them all.
Okay. So, sound good? So what's their tax rate? I don't. It's really tough. And it's 35 plus 4, it looks like. It looks like around 38, 39. And this is just changes to unrecognized tax benefits. If maybe they're running out of time to make money and they're going to lose their tax benefits, that could be true. Okay? So the effective tax rate might be 39%. Awful. Right? Like it was over here. Good if you're losing money. That's your refund, right? But if they can actually get if they can take the refund. Okay? That didn't help much, did it? And then maybe long-term debt for the interest. It looked like, on the income statement, did you guys, I never let you guys look at the numbers, did I? Determine if everything's going to continue forward, or did you?
Oh, yeah, I think we...
Did we say everything is? Did you write down the net income before tax? Let's just use their interest that they've got.
So use the 38 too.
Yeah, maybe. What we could do is we could try and let's see. See if this will work for us here. Yeah, it does. Interest. There you go. Reportable savings on no. Yeah, there you go. Howdy. I just show the same stuff, you guys. Interest expense, net of amortization. Okay, there we go. Interest expense and amortization between flat. That's just discussion.
I got the cost of debt as being 0.072%.
Okay, now we're back to the income statement. Your net income or loss before taxes is 25,349. Oh my, this company's worthless and then some. Okay, and their tax rate, so we'll use that. Use it as negative, and then use it as a tax benefit. We'll make this arbitrary assumption that they're going to actually get the tax benefit. What we mean by that is you have to make money later to get the benefit, right? Get the taxes back. Okay, we won't pay tax later. All right. Well, there we go. The result of the 2011 amended agreement. Here's your interest rates. 4.93. What kind of interest rate did you guys get? Yeah, what did you say it was? 38%?
Oh, interest?
Oh, no.
Interest or, oh,
Interest.
okay, my bad. I got 1.17.
Okay, well, they got a lot of stuff that doesn't have interest, huh? A lot of non-interest bearing debt. Yeah, when you look through this, it doesn't look like they're going to give us what the interest expense was netted, or before they netted things out. I think I just use the interest number. Yeah. Okay. Calculate the value of anything, huh? Everything you need? And for those folks who just came in, we'll be really nice people and we'll give them some numbers to use.
Okay.
So we're valuing a ridiculous company that has a loss. I won't give you one that has a loss. This is Barnes & Noble. Pieces of information that we needed that we collected were what?
Market value is 24.86. The beta is
It is what?
2.17.
Okay.
Outstanding shares is 60.2 million.
60.2 million?
Mm-hmm.
Million, millions? That was,
There's a million, yeah.
what was it, thousands? I think it's thousands. I think it was
Yeah, I think it's
62,000. Yeah.
On the one, it said 60.2 with an N next to it.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, it did have this.
Oh, maybe it is. Okay. We'll see how the value comes out. If it looks like it's over 3 decimal places, we'll know we get the wrong count. Okay, good. All right. Read the statement wrong. Okay, then what?
Do you want the market cap?
Sure. What would that be? Outstanding shares times the market value per share is the market cap.
1.49 billion.
And that'll do it for you. 60.2 million times 24.86.
Well, they gave
You're
us
right.
1.5, but we did 1.49.
Yeah, 1.49 billion
For what?
Yeah.
market cap.
Oh, yeah, 1.49.
60.2 million times 24.86 is 1.49 billion, is it? Okay, so we're probably okay. All right, then what?
Your interest expense is 35,345.
3.5,
345.
and that's thousands, right? Not millions. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Okay.
Do you want the first depreciation or the second?
I think I want the depreciation off of the cash flow statement because it included some other costs, deferred costs that are being amortized.
It was 232,604.
232.
604.
Can you tell this is, and that's thousands too, right? Okay. So I got millions here, thousands, billion. Okay, then what?
The loss before income tax is 255,349.
benefit? Just so that they know how much it was. What was it this year?
What do you mean?
Oh, we didn't write that down, did we?
Mm-hmm.
Tax benefit is percent, that's good enough. What do you think it was? 38?
Oh, it,
38?
you're talking about the just tax
Yeah, tax rate.
percent, it's 38.2.
So it gave us 38.2 as their tax rate?
Yeah. Okay. And that's a benefit, right? You lose money? Your tax rate's a tax benefit. Okay. And then what? You have interest, maybe debt.
The ending is 3018793.
30187.
30.
Oh.
That's an 8.
30.
18793.
Where do we put our decimal? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's in thousands? So that's billions, right?
That's just what they gave us.
That's thousands. So the financial statements are thousands, right? So that's $3 billion. Okay, all right. So you got to get everything the same, right? Billions, thousands. Okay, so you get your decimal in the same place. Beginning debt?
2922428.
You miss anything else?
The
Oh,
bond
the
is 2 point-
what's that?
the bond is
Yeah,
2.8.
30-year bond. Is 2.8%. Okay, right now. Is that everything? You might be there.
Brandon, do you know that the liability exceeds the equity?
After you calculate it, does it?
Yeah.
This
So
company is worthless.
liability is
Without growth, it's worthless. So after you get that, get the implicit growth of this. And then pick a number for growth and see what it would be with some number you might believe for growth. Oh, worse than worthless? But it's got a value, doesn't it? What's it selling for? $24.86. People believe in it somehow. So what's the implicit growth rate? It must be pretty big.
So the normal operating income is just the negative 255 through 49.
I don't know. That's why lots of companies are so hard. You think it's going to turn around? You can't have growth on math or give the loss gets bigger. No. So what do you think? What number should we use? That's interesting, isn't it? That's what you can calculate. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
For our quiz on Wednesday, do we need to bring a computer?
It's okay if you want.
I wasn't sure if you were going to make us look up a company or if you're going to give us a paper
Oh.
copy.
I didn't thought about that yet. What did I do? I just gave you a copy. You can either use your computer or go to the computer lab. There we go.
Okay, so if it's 60 million shares, what's, and everything else is in thousands, so if we make that like,
60, comma 200, and you're there.
okay, that's
all right.
what
That's why I had it.
that's what I thought.
Is 60.2 times 24.86 really 1.5 billion? Market cap really 1.5 billion?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused because
What's 60 times 25, James? That's not a big enough number, is it?
yeah, it's exactly what that is.
No, I guess it is. Yeah, because these are millions.
That puts you way below that.
It's going to be this 25 times 60 is 1,500, right?
But it puts you significantly below the liabilities because there's like over 3 billion liabilities. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. They have more liability. When you do your weights, you have a lot more debt than you do equity.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I was confused. I'm not used to getting it that way. But
Yeah, most of it's profitable company. The equity is worth more than the liabilities. That's your absolutely. you're still gonna have positive cash flow, right? So if you have positive cash flow, you have a positive value, even though you're losing money. As long as you have positive cash flow, you won't really go broke.
Yeah, but what number do you use for the normal operating income?
Use the one you got right now, for now.
The two
Then you put
fifty-five,
the,
329?
yeah,
But do you use a negative?
yes. But then use a tax benefit.
What do you mean by using a tax benefit?
Your loss is less than it was,
Okay,
because the IRS is giving us refunds on prior taxes you
that
paid,
makes sense, but
or future taxes.
so do we calculate it any differently?
No, exactly the same. Just makes
So
it
you still
smaller
think
negative.
one minus
Yeah.
0.32 is
Yeah,
still on your.
so our loss is not that big, our loss is less. Okay. So our loss is only gonna be, what, 60%? Okay, that makes sense. This is pretty good for getting down how the formulas work and everything, it's just really difficult to value the company. So we'll do the same calculation. Alright. But you're gonna get a positive value. And growth is going to be growth in cash flows in general. We have positive cash flows, so we can do a growth too. In the work, as long as there's a bad positive cash flow. If it's negative cash flow, it's really impossible. You have to modify the cash flow. All those are in thousands except for the market cap billion, right? And outstanding shares in millions. Everything down below there is in thousands. I didn't put K's next to it.
I guess the future cash flow is less than the liabilities.
The future cash, you mean the market value of the assets,
Yeah. The market value of the assets
is less than the liability? It's negative value.
Yeah.
So figure out its negative value.
What would that be?
So you just put zero. It's worthless. It's worthless. Market value is zero. You think at no growth you wouldn't buy this stock. It's worth nothing. Okay, it's zero, right? If the assets are less valuable than the liability, what do you think of this company?
It would be negative equity.
Negative equity. It's negative value. Yeah. But nobody's going to pay you to take the stock worth.
And then would you get your cost of debt?
That I got 0.72%.
Okay.
After tax?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? What'd you get for cap? What'd you get for cap in?
Tap in.
It's gonna be high. It's gonna have high beta.
I got 6.59% left.
Okay.
Really? What'd you get for cap in? Cost of debt.
Wait, cost of debt.
Cap in.
Cost of debt was.
No, I mean cost of equity.
Yeah,
Cost
that's
of
why I
equity
was like.
higher. Cap in. Cost of
Tap
equity.
in was
It's high.
18
Three. Yeah.
18.42%.
3 plus 7 twice, 14. So
Are
yeah.
we using 10 as the,
Yeah, that's fine.
for,
By the way, don't think that it's always 10, right, guys? It's whatever it is, right? So really what it is risk-free plus 5, 6, 7, maybe 8%. Yeah.
and that's not the tax rate.
Market's been
3130 for the share price.
Okay, now you can do growth though. Use what they think it's worth. Work your way backwards, right?
Yeah.
And calculate what the growth must be.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, but it's still it's positive cash flow, so enough growth would probably do it. So people must believe something here.
What did you get as a cost of equity?
Cost of equity, I got 18.42%.
I didn't know, I thought I heard you say something about negative and one.
Got negative for the stock price.
You got negative equity. You take your assets less the liabilities, it's a negative number. Yeah. So then there must be a lot of growth, right, guys? This isn't bad. This is making you think about how this thing works. I won't give you anything like this. This is awesome. At least I hope I don't. Sometimes I get surprises. I had students buy some company that got bought up by another company during the year and I didn't realize it. That was pretty funny. I can't find them. But, oh, okay. Better be the parent.
So what do you do for the implicit growth? You do the estimated future cash flows divided by
WAC minus growth.
WACC minus growth.
Yeah. But then what's the estimated market value of the assets? Is the market estimate,
Okay, so
which is the assets you use to do your weights, right?
yeah.
And that was a positive number, right? So obviously the market thinks the assets have a positive value. The market must think there's a lot of goodwill or something, right? A lot of future cash flows or something. Or they think that number's ridiculous. They think they're going to turn the corner and start making money. And you can really analyze the company and look at what people are thinking, what they're saying, and what their quarterly reports have said, and all that stuff. Change. They're going to run out of viable money or aren't able to stop themselves. 24 is still really high. $25. Everybody making some progress? Figuring it out. Yeah, that's future interest rate. Right? But if you get your weights, you can make, right? Making the calculator up here, you're getting value.
They were saying that this one's bigger than this one, but I'm not gonna.
Well, that's after. This is what the market thinks the equity is. Is that what you calculated? Yeah, so not when you value it. When you take your estimated cash flow and you divide it by your WACC, you're going to get assets that less than 1/3 of that long. Right? Yeah, you wouldn't get the market value probably it's $25 a share. Yeah. So they think the company is worth $1.5 billion. It's just that if it's no growth, we think it's worth it. Make sense? So they must think there's growth. That's all. They think that's going to turn around. They think their cash flow is going to get better. So just calculate the way you always would. Right? But remember, the loss isn't as big as it looks. Right? Because you get a tax benefit. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Good to get down the tax benefit this way, too. Sorry. Are there people gathering outside?
No. You said use the beginning for the average debt, right?
Yeah, beginning plus the ending divided by 2. That'll give you your average debt. So when you do your weights, use the ending debt, right? 1.9 before.
Right, but this would be 0.735%
Percent, but a percent sign. So when you put it in your calculator, it's 0.00, right? Less than 1%, right? Yeah, I think that's good. Did you get 0.7% interest rate? Isn't that what you said you got there?
What is it?
The KD, 0.7%?
Yeah.
It's 0.7 of 1%. Okay.
I don't know, I don't.
Do you have your
But then they cap in on the G, right?
But hey, your market shares, or
It's gonna be
your,
real big.
your final number, negative 49.95.
Got negative 31.3.
What was your final, equity number?
Negative 1,883,770.
Oh, that's better.
Wait, what?
1 billion or 1 billion?
Negative 1,883,770.
Yeah. 1.8
What was your
billion.
asset?
4,000,005.
What was your WAC? None of our.
6.59%.
Okay, close enough. What was your estimated cash flows?
Estimated cash flow was 74798.
Okay, now what was your asset?
Assets I had.
Like market value of your asset.
7479855. 659. Oh, like 1135023.
Close enough. That's what I had, close enough.
Minus the liabilities was like 3 something. Should be like negative 1.8.
What a company.
I'm not getting negative 1 anything.
For equity?
For equity, I'm
What did
getting
you get?
negative.
What do you get for liabilities?
My liabilities were 3,018,000.
3 billion.
3 billion.
Is it 3 billion?
Yeah. It gives you 3 million, but it's.
Yeah,
Then
it's
you
3
do
billion.
ending debt as your.
This is 3 billion.
Yeah, so it should be 1.8 something if it's.
What was your total asset market value?
Assets were 1135.
1.135?
No. My assets, mine was 11, or 11,400.
Whoa, those are big differences. Yours is 11.1, so
No,
you said
I don't, mine's not at a point.
it's 11 billion though? You think you have 11 billion assets?
Billion, no.
No.
Are we talking, what are we?
Okay, what do you think the estimated market value of assets is?
I've got, when I divided my estimated cash flows divided by my WAC, I got 11,000.
It should be 1,135,000.
Decimal place. Where's your decimal place? You guys have, that's the difference you two have.
Yeah.
Where does the decimal place go? Is it 11 billion or 1
It should be
billion?
1 billion.
1.1 billion?
Yeah, I got one.
Well, all of mine are in thousands right now. I'm not saying billions, or it's all exactly like.
That's fine, except, yeah, that's just fine. Okay, so you can keep this. So you have 11 comma and 6 digits?
I have 11 comma 3 digits.
Oh, so you have a 3 billion negative equity,
Yeah, sure.
right? So is your decimal in the right place? Maybe it's even worse than you thought. Maybe it's not 1.1 billion. Maybe it's you're still off 1 decimal place, right? She's got an 11 million equity.
I have 11,337 times.
11,337. Where does the decimal go?
0.496.
So 11 what? 11,337,000. Is that what that is?
This one's in decimal, and this one's.
They got 11.4. She got 11.3 million too. They got 11.3 million. Is your decimal off one thing?
7,479 divided by 0.0659 is 1,135,032. So
So if you wanted to,
135,
you wanted to.
Yeah, we'll have to calculate.
Where are you putting your decimal?
Yeah,
I did
that's the difference.
74798 for
Why are we making?
future cash flows, divide by 0.0659.
First of all,
Okay, let's see if we get some of the same numbers. So let's go that far together.
Okay.
Estimated cash flows, guys?
we're putting our decimal on a different place.
Yeah, you put your decimal in a different place. Let's find out which it is. You gotta be wrong. Well, you don't have to be. They are all wrong if you're right.
74798.
They're all, okay. So estimated cash flows is what? You'd want to take what, guys? The net income before tax
Add the tax benefit.
times 1 minus the tax rate. That's how we're going to do this. And then we're going to add to that what? Depreciation and amortization, because they're not cash flow items. Yeah. Okay. So what do we have? Net income before is a loss of how much?
Negative.
255 349. Loss. Okay? And then we're going to get a tax benefit on that. 1 minus, what did you use for the tax rate? Point.
0.382.
Fine with me. Okay, that sound good? Close enough? Okay, so that's going to reduce your after-tax loss is going to be what? About 0.62 times 255 349. What'd you guys get? Your loss is how much? That's a normal year. Let's hope it's not. They keep hoping that these aren't normal years and they keep getting worse.
1578056.
Something like that? 157,806? Okay. Is that right? That's your after-tax loss. Is that right? That's about what it was too, wasn't it?
You didn't add in your depreciation.
Yeah.
Oh, add the depreciation, sure. That's not cash flows yet.
Oh,
What's
okay.
your depreciation?
Sorry. I was like, no, that's not what I got.
What's your depreciation?
232604.
So they have a little bit of positive cash flow. Everybody agree? 232,604 less 157,806 is how much?
74,798.32.
Okay, so they have $75 million of positive cash coming out of the business. Okay? They're getting close to having enough. Okay? All right, for this big a company, that's just not good, of course. Okay, so that's estimated cash flows. Right? Let's go for whack. Equals weight of debt, right? Times cost of debt. Plus. Absolutely. After a while, this stuff is just automatic. Okay, let's do our weights. Assets equal liabilities plus equity. Okay, what do we want to do? Market values, right? But we're going to use book value of the liabilities as a proxy for market value, right? That's just a proxy for the market value. How much was that?
3018793.
Keep the whole thing if we want, right? Let's do equity. What's that going to be? Outstanding shares, which is 60.2 million times 2486 each, which was 1.49 billion. Is that right? So it's 1490.
1496572.
Oh, 1496572. Let's use that. 1,496,572.
572.
And then you'd have 3 zeros after that, wouldn't you? Okay, that's outstanding shares. Times what? Oh, that was it, wasn't it?
That was it,
It was
yeah.
60.2 million times 24.86. That is the number. Okay, 1,496,572. Everybody get something like that? That's not outstanding shares. That's equity total dollars. Okay, so what do we do now? Okay, add the two together. All right, and You've got quite a bit of equity in this company, man, really, considering they're on the ropes, okay? So what do those two add together to be?
4515365.
That's 100% of itself. Everybody agree? So what's 3,018,793 divided by 4515365? What'd you get for liabilities percentage?
66.86.
66.9%, good enough? And then what?
33.14.
Ta-da. Okay? So we're going to plug those in, aren't we? Okay? Into our whack up there. So this is going to be 66.9. Whoops. Yeah. Liabilities. Equity. 66.9. You guys do that? Everybody's on the same page. The equity is 33.1. Okay, let's do cost of debt. That was our weights. Cost of debt. Interest rate, right? Times minus the tax rate. Okay. Is after-tax cost interest rate. Okay, interest rate's going to be what? Our interest expense, maybe? How much was interest expense?
35.34.
Take that and divide it by what? The average debt, right? So your average debt is those two added together, so it's about 3 million, or 3 billion, rather. Going into interest expense of 35,345. What kind of interest rate did you get before tax?
0.0118.
1.19%.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take that times 1 minus the same tax rate we used before, which is 0.382. Sound good? So what did everybody get? It's 62% of 1.2%. How much is that? 0.71%?
0.735.
73542. Okay. So 0.7% about is what the debt costs us, and you might want to use 0.73 or something. Okay. Whoops, not 7.3%. Do that. Those are nuts. Okay. 0.72 or 3% or something, right? Whatever you used. Okay. So what do we have for KE? Let's try to give that one a shot. For KE, we're going to use CAPM, which is risk-free plus what? Beta times the risk premium, which is return on the market minus risk-free. This really gets automatic after you studied a while, huh? Get a few of these. What's risk-free? 2.8, we said?
Yep.
30-year bond, which is Keith Richardson's preference. Other people like different things. Okay?
Beta is 2.17.
2.17. I wanted to find somebody that's pretty risky, but they're also losing money. Okay, and then what did we say? We thought maybe this was 10%. Pick a number, which makes your risk premium what? 7.2%, which I think is believable. Okay, so 2.17 times 7.2 gives you about 14%, something like that.
15.624.
Okay, and then you add 2.8 to that. What do you get? 18.424%. So maybe 18.42%, I guess?
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Yeah. All right, so then you take 0.669 times 0.72, and then you add that to 0.331 times 18.42. And it's going to be slightly more than 18, or slightly more than 6. A third of 18 is 6. What'd you get? 6.56. Everybody good with that one? Whack.
I get 6.59.
That's what I thought.
6.59, 6.59,
It's enough.
59, 56 back there. What'd you get?
Yep.
56. I hereby decree it's 6.59. Okay, got it? Okay, so now what do you want to do? Take your estimated cash flows of 74,798, right, guys? divided by what? Okay. What does that give me? This is my estimated market value of my assets, right?
I think here's the question is, do we take that 6.59% and put it into like 0.0659? Or what matters?
Oh, well, yeah, you're gonna have to. Otherwise, yeah, you have to. If you just divide 6.59 in there, that's not gonna give you a good number, right?
I think that's where we
Because the percentage is 0.065, right? Okay. 74,798 though divided by 0.0659. Either that or you can divide the 6.59 in, but you still have to move it over 2 decimal places. That's harder to keep straight, probably. Okay, so this is all in thousands, right? This is only $75 million we're looking at here, right? Okay, so this is all in thousands. So we can put a K on there if you want to keep it straight, right? Those are thousands, not millions. Okay, 74,798,000 divided by 0.0659. What's the assets worth?
1,133,749.
Where does the comma go? 1 billion?
That's after those. It's
1,133,749.
I think so. 1.1 billion. So he's right. Did you have it? Oh, you had 1.1 billion too?
Well, I figured out what I did wrong.
You moved it over 2 decimal places?
Well, I didn't move it the decimal at all, so
Yeah.
it gave me the other one.
I got you. Okay. You guys must have done the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we do it differently every time, and I just.
And be really careful. Be really careful. Okay? So, so it's billion, right? 75 million. And here you can check it. Do this. Take 1,133,749 times 0.0659 and make sure you have 74,798. Do you?
It's going to be a little off because of the rounding.
Yeah, but it's real close.
Yeah, like 1,135.
Yeah, the decimal place is in the right place, right? Did I do it? Okay. Then what are we going to subtract from that?
Liabilities.
Estimated market value of the liabilities, which we're using the book value as a proxy for that. How much was that?
301,873.
And that yields me what? Estimated market value of the equity, which is negative. How much is that number? Negative. We think it's ridiculous. 2, almost.
And that's what I said, like 1.8. I had 188,370, but that's a different, because she had a different number of the market
Okay.
value. The rounding.
Yeah, 1,885, it looks like. Close to that.
1885044.
Something like that. Okay? That didn't quite work out exact, but it's something like that. Okay? And then you have to divide the shares, but it's meaningless. It's negative per share. Okay? So let's do the next step. What do you do to find out what the market thinks the growth is? Can you do that? Easily, right? What do? You take the same estimated cash flows,
Divide by the market value of the assets.
divided by WACC,
What did you do?
minus growth, right? What's that?
The market.
Did you guys do the market share? I was doing
The market value per share? No, because it's negative, it's meaningless. But you could divide the number of shares in there and find out what it's worth, negative market value
You
per
owe
share.
me
No growth.
$31.30 to take the stock.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
pay me for your
Yeah,
stock.
nobody's going to pay you to take their stock. But yeah, negative 31 bucks a share. That's how much they're in the hole. Okay, good. All right, but let's find out what the market must think the growth is. What does the market think the estimated market value of the assets is? Where can we find that? What you could do is you could take the market value per share times the outstanding shares, right? Get the market cap, and then you could add the liabilities to it, right? Or you could just go find out when we did our weights what we came up with. Notice what we did when we did our weights. We've got this much, right, for equity, and we have this much for liabilities. When you add them up, you have this much, don't you? 4515365. Am I right? Is everybody staying with me? So if you want, you could take the market value per share here times the number of shares here, get back to the market cap, which is that one, and then you could add the liabilities, and that'll give you the market value of the assets. True? Or you could just plug the market value of the assets in because it's much faster. So what did I just say the number was for market value of the assets we use for our weights?
4515365.
What did we say the estimated cash flows were?
7.79.
Okay, this is all in millions, right? It's $4 billion company, $4.5 billion the market thinks it is. It's only earning $75 million. What's the WACC? 0.59, is that what we had? Was, right? Okay, minus some growth will give me that number. Okay? So what do you do?
Divide the estimated cash flows into the market value of the assets.
Well, the other way around. Estimated market value of the assets into the cash flows. So you're right. Okay? 75,798 divided by 4515365 tells me what WACC minus growth is. What's that?
1.66.
Okay. So what must growth be? $6.59 less 1.66 is how much? 4.93%. The market thinks 5% growth. But you know what? If they think they're turning the corner and it's really going to take off, might be okay. That's doable. If they think it's really going to turn the corner and the company's going to start making money. So even if I gave you a negative one, you could calculate it, but oh my, it's drive you crazy with it. Okay. Enough of this nonsense. It's a nice skill. Nice thing to see. I think it's really good. Nobody teaches this in intermediate accounting but us. Maybe a few other schools. But what I really like about it is it forces you to read a real financial statement a little bit. Get it started, right? You'll do more as we go along. And it shows you what people actually use the financial statements to do. They're going to use these numbers we give them to value businesses, right? Value transactions. So is it important to have the right numbers? Oh, man. Good. Good. So no matter when I have a review session, you guys make that, basically. Well, I don't know why you planned your schedule. That's terrible.
Plan until we can work away on Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And Linda, what is your
Which I couldn't come on Tuesday or Thursday either.
Well, I will find out.
What's your market share value?
But the work schedule for next semester is not looking too good, so.
By the way, could you value what this company would be worth if we changed it to, say, a 4% growth? Yeah, it probably still has some positive value, but not much, right? Or if we changed it to a 6, with a 6, it'd have more value, wouldn't it? Right?